What's up, guys? Mike the Cop. I am live on YouTube. We are in the chat. I'm seeing you guys start to show up. So hello, welcome. Appreciate you guys. And yesterday, what I'm talking about here is yesterday, Senator Kamala Harris responded to the Department of Justice announcing that they are going to essentially resume the practice of capital punishment at a federal level. And the Department of Justice announced that yesterday. And Kamala Harris, I'm going to give you her response straight from the proverbial horse's mouth. She has a response to that, and she's representative of many of the leftists' perspectives, okay, especially those that are running for president as she is. So I want to talk about this. I think it's pertinent to my content because it involves obviously the criminal justice system and a punishment, particularly capital punishment. So I want to be really clear up front that I fully support capital punishment as an option, a viable option that we should have in a system of government that wants to promote true freedom and justice and equity for all people. But I'm not going to get into specifically the topic of capital punishment. I just want it to be out there on Front Street that I do support the concept of capital punishment. Many people would be surprised because I'm a cop that I would not be hesitant to criticize the criminal justice system, but I am, and most cops are, because most cops have seen what I've seen, in that I've seen guys that have beat their wives multiple times and never serve a single day in county jail. But I've also seen people with a suspended driver's license serve 90 days in jail. And it is sometimes literally on a judge's whim, their mood. There's a lot of things about sentencing guidelines that I think are way too broad, way too concerning to see as far as sentencing goes. I disagree with it. I think that we need consistency. I think that there should be a fair process, okay? Fair process, and if you are convicted of a crime, I think that there should be a punishment for that crime, whether it is a monetary punishment or whether it is time in incarceration, whether it is community service, something. There should be a consistent, but there shouldn't be some type of less punishment for so-and-so and greater punishment for such and such over here. If you're convicted of the crime, there should be a punishment, and that's what it is. This sentencing guideline nonsense, it should be disappeared with. Period. That's my opinion. But I think capital punishment should be on the table for our society. Now, you may not think that, and that's okay. I'm just putting it out there on Front Street so that it's out there for you, because that's kind of like what sparked this. Jonah, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. He says, bring back public executions. Well, again, that's another debate for a different day, whether it should be public or not. Okay, now let's get to the point at hand, and I want to basically explain to you why this is a complete logical inconsistency. And you're going to have to follow me here, okay? Because yesterday when I posted this on my Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else, people immediately jumped to making this about capital punishment or jumped to making it about abortion. You'll see where I'm going with that in a second. I'm truly not making it about one or the other. I'm making an argument here that exposes the logical inconsistency of the leftists, particularly given the line of reasoning they're giving you. Kamala Harris tweeted this out. This morning, the Department of Justice announced that they would resume capital punishment. Let me be clear. Capital punishment is immoral and deeply flawed. Now, again, some people can believe it with all their heart, and have reasons that are at least consistent with their beliefs. And we're not gonna talk about that. If you think capital punishment is something we shouldn't have, you may have reasons, and the way that you bring your argument together may be valid. And I'm not condemning you because you disagree with me about capital punishment. I know many awesome people who would disagree with me about capital punishment, and that's okay. Again, bear with me. It's not what I'm getting into. Here's her reasoning. Here's Kamala Harris's reasoning, and here's where it's flawed. Too many innocent people have been put to death. We need a national moratorium on the death penalty, not a resurrection. So her reasoning for saying that it's immoral and flawed is that innocent people have been, or she's implying here with the words that could be put to death. We can't keep the death penalty. We can't keep capital punishment as a viable option for punishment because innocent people might die. My response in writing was this: what's flawed is your logic, ma'am. If you don't want the death penalty because someone might be innocent, then why kill fetuses if they might be a person? Might. Your position, this is my message to Kamala Harris and my message to anyone who agrees with her, your position isn't about morality, it is about political expediency. They will say whatever they can to keep elected. They will say whatever they need to. Wherever the wind blows and they feel like that's going to get into their political sails to keep them afloat, that is their position. That is how she can be fork-tongued and say completely incongruent statements and it still somehow works. Okay? And here's where it doesn't work, is because she also, along with everybody in there that on her side, on the platform running for president, for example, are all pro-abortion. Again, don't get lost here, guys. Don't get lost here in an abortion debate. You may have a belief about abortion and why you don't think it should be illegal or whatever else, or why you find it to be whatever. Don't get lost in that, because watch the incongruency here. Kamala Harris is saying you can't have the death penalty because innocent people might lose their lives. I'm saying, how do you then be pro-criminal justice system have value, but innocent people in the womb wouldn't have value? And again, we don't have to go into whether or not they are people, unless you are claiming godlike knowledge of exactly when a fetus gets a soul, as it were, for lack of better words, becomes a person. Because we're all working under the assumption that people have value because they exist. Otherwise, it wouldn't be an issue for the death penalty. She's saying there's such a thing as an innocent person who doesn't deserve to die. Okay, let's work with that assumption. Based on that same assumption, unless Kamala Harris or anybody that agrees with her knows the exact moment when a fetus, which is a living thing, that's indisputable, knows the exact moment they become a person, then you have to admit that you might be killing innocent people. Okay? So, this is the incongruency. Now, it's not because I'm saying it, okay? I'm saying what I am telling you right now is indisputable. That's a bold statement. It's very bold. I understand that it's bold to say that. It's people, but all claims to truth are exclusive claims to truth. Go look that up later. But my point is, I'm not a math genius because I say 2 + 2 = 4. I'm just, I just understand how the world works. You could say 2 + 2 = 5, but you're just an idiot. Okay? That doesn't make you right. Having an opinion doesn't make your opinion valid. Opinions must be framed in around consistency in thought. Okay? So opinions are useful because they help us engage in dialogue and the exchange of ideas. And you can't escape opinions. I'm not immune from having an opinion that's flawed. Neither are you. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a blatant position, a stated reason for why you can't have capital punishment or shouldn't have capital punishment that directly conflicts and disagrees with her reasoning for abortion. It's simple. It is plain and simple. And listen, hey, type on your keyboard. No, these are headphones. No, that's a keyboard. No, these are headphones. So you can sometimes it's pointless to argue with someone that's calling headphones a keyboard, as it were. So some people will argue this point till they're blue in the face, but just because you're arguing or say you have an opinion doesn't make it valid. And what I am saying is that the logical inconsistency is blatant. And it's impossible to disprove me on that. Not because it's me saying it, but because it's way of life. Because now we're talking about how do we deal with people who have killed other people in society and why. We're losing our mooring that's rooted in common sense and a shared sense of value of life. And her position is completely inconsistent. Okay, so let me go back here, guys. If you've been doing super chats, thank you. Bill Stevens, babies get more of a right to life than a convicted killer. Well, you would think so. I would hope so. That's my personal opinion. Victor, Mondragon or Mondragon. I'm not sure how to say your last name. Keep up the good work, man. Victor, thank you very much. I appreciate that kind of support. And then Jonah. Okay, so I'm caught up. All right, guys. So that if you did not see this live, that concludes the entirety of my little rant and response. I'm pro capital punishment. I'm anti-abortion. Those are my positions, but that's not what any of this is about. This is about the logical inconsistency that is tolerated in politics simply for the sake of political expediency and maintaining their position of authority or power over you. And they are not coming up with original thinking. They are simply bending to opinions not rooted in common sense, and they'll say one thing that completely disagrees with this thing over here, and as long as it keeps them moving forward and advancing them politically, they continue to talk out of both sides of their mouth. That is not unique to Kamala Harris. It has been Donald Trump has done it. Trump has talked out of both sides of his mouth. Kamala Harris has talked out of both sides of his mouth, her mouth. I don't care who it is. I'm not a blanket, I'm raise the flag. People who just worship at the feet of Donald Trump are ignorant. That is an ignorant thing to do, and it's ignorant to blindly support these politicians when they are moronic in their approach to thought and positions. It's ridiculous. All right. JRDG, I agree with you about Kamala, but do you think it's better for our prisons to actually rehab people than kill them? Dude, come out of prison worse off than they go in. If you kill somebody, I think if you are convicted of premeditated murder, let me be very clear. I'm not talking about manslaughter, negligence. I think you should be put to death. I don't think it's better to rehab you. I think there has to be a consistent punishment for a convicted crime, whatever it is. You know, if you steal something from the store, there should be a punishment. And person X that does it should and is convicted should get the same punishment as person Y, as person Z. There should be no special treatment for so-and-so's kid or such and such situation. If you are convicted of that crime, then that's the punishment. Okay? Now, that leaves room in our society for us to show mercy and grace to one another given the circumstances. That's where wisdom and common sense come in as a society. Then a store owner can recognize, maybe I don't need to press charges here. But we're talking about the strict concept of punishment here. All right. I got to go eastbound and down. What a good show, Victor. Do you remember that? You will feel my lash. Oh my gosh, eastbound and down. What a funny show. Good stuff. All right, guys. That is my rant. Wait, $12.20. Did someone do this? Oh, Hiram Bifidum, another regular supporter on this. I have said inappropriate things in this channel. If I lie and deny it makes me just as bad as the most obnoxious troll. However, I did serve maximum sentence with no trial. All right, I don't know what you're talking about, Hiram, but I do appreciate the super chat. And always, we'll see you out there. Good day.